Hi, welcome to the Career Cruise podcast. I'm your host, Violette Wambua. Career Cruise is where we talk about all things about life as regards the career you've chosen, whether it's a self-employment or professional employment. As long as rent is every month and you got a job to do, that's what we're talking about here on Career Cruise. This is a place of sharing ideas, sharing ideals, sharing aspirations, experiences, the fumbles, the tumbles, the highs, the lows, and everything in between in this glorious journey of life. Among the many topics we've discussed, I don't think we've talked about being a people pleaser. Being a people pleaser is such a common phenomena that most of us don't even realize it, that we are actually people pleasers. And if you're a Kenyan, you're ultimately a people pleaser by very many means. But let's not get into that. Let's just talk about people pleasing at an individual level as regards the workplace and as regards the business that you're doing as well, because you're serving customers, you have to deal with clients, and at work you're dealing with your team members, higher ups, and some below you. So what is people pleasing anyway? People pleasing can be described in several ways. Some may think of it as being an unnecessary servitude to others. Others may call it an unyielding desire to do for others in exchange of respect, love, and or acceptance. So it could be coming from outside forces, it could be coming from inside yourself. So yeah, that's what people pleasing really is. I think in the previous episode I said, please don't go over and above, because majority of the times when you go over and above in what we're doing is actually coming from the need to please others. Like it's coming from a people pleasing sort of a spot inside our hearts or our minds. At work, people pleasing, short-term gains, people are accepting you, they look like they're respecting you, they're excited to have you around because you're the dependable one, you're the one who, if they need something done last minute, they just know, let's go to Vivian, she'll do it. Let's go to Philip, he'll do it. Philip is our guy. You're our guy. So you end up even making orders for people for their lunches, because then they're too busy, they won't order. So when you're ordering yours, you decide you're ordering for everyone, not just that one person, but everyone. It becomes a routine. It's not even a one-off thing, it's a routine. So it's like you even get some kick out of being the one day. Like if I don't order, they won't eat, it's me. Yet you also have KPIs just as I do, So you're just doing the most, literally, you're doing the most. What it does for you, short run, you feel, yes, I'm that person, I'm needed here, I belong, I fit in, whatever. But long term, it causes you to resent yourself so badly, because you've given up so much of yourself to make others happy. You have literally betrayed yourself. You betrayed your time, betrayed your consciousness, you betrayed your talent, you betrayed the essence of who you are just to fit into a group or just to be liked by a certain few people, so you end up resenting yourself. And I don't know, the resenting yourself is worse than being resented by others, because you can't run away from yourself, because everywhere you go, there you are. Everywhere you go, there you are. If someone else resents me, if I move away, they're not going to see me, so I don't have to deal with their resentment. Now, if I don't like myself, that's a different topic altogether, because then I have to deal with myself. And I think this resentment, and it doesn't do anything for your security, your confidence, your self-assuredness. It just dents at your core so much. The damage is too much, like today's episode is just talking about why not to be a people pleaser. Please, guys, we have to get out of it, like snap out of it. I don't know, get therapy out of it, something like, we're not doing people pleasing on Career Cruise. And I'm not saying to be rude and mean to people or unkind or cruel, but no, we're not going to be people pleasers. Please, guys, please. That one to meacha. Okay, please me by not being a people pleaser. Okay. The thing with people pleasing, it could also hinder your growth at work, like severely hinder your growth. I remember someone I interacted with a lot was a people pleaser at work, and he was in he was in a department where he could actually grow so much and get all the promotions, but because he was so focused on making his boss happy, making his workmates happy, being the one to help with booking flights, being the one to help with things which are so out of his JD job description. He was doing things which are outside his job description. Like, he has his work to do that he's paid for, he's been hired for. But, there's a catering company. Let's go see how they doing this. And then, there's a new person who's come. Let me be the one to show them around town. There's this and this. A lot of people pleasing. And this person is not even within their department. This person is not even coming to do anything with them directly. They're just over on the other side of the building that my people pleasing friend knows all that, and they're already offering to take them out and to show them the next dancing spots. Come on, so it's too much. So it makes you not focus on your work and give your work the 100% you need to be giving it. So you give it just enough to keep you hired, and then the rest of the time you're spending it in other quarters. And even if you think about it, even when it comes to your business, if you're an entrepreneur, and I've fallen into these tricky spots many times, it's just crazy. So a client wants a discount, you give them a discount. Now they want this, so you give too much. So it's not just gold plating now, where you give your clients a bit more. You are now even cutting into your own profit lines, your own time. You're giving them more time. You're spending so much time on these clients, and they're giving you such little income back. And there's not much on it back, and you're like, So people pleasing hinders your growth as a professional. It hinders your profits and your growth as a business person as well. So people pleasing is just a cancer, and it doesn't stop, and it's very greedy. It's a greedy phenomenon. One is not enough, once is not enough, twice is not enough, two is not enough. Always want more and more. It's a gaping hole. So it has to be shut down so that we can grow as individuals, we can grow as professionals, we can grow as business people, we can grow as family members, we can grow, and when I talk about family, I'm talking about the firstborns, the middleborns, the lastborns. All of us, we need to get out of people pleasing so that we can grow and be and lend our uniqueness, lend our source into this life. Because if you're people pleasing, you're always editing yourself to suit this person's narrative of you, that person's narrative of you, and there's 7 billion people in the world. Are you going to edit yourself to suit 7 billion people? No, you have to be your own unique self. In that company where you're working, you have to bring your own unique source into the job role, into the job environment. So if you're always editing yourself, so that when you're this manager, you're editing, this one you're editing, your higher ups you're editing, they're like, come on, it's too much work. I'm not saying don't be pleasant to be around. I'm not saying be cold, hard, and calculating, whatever. I'm not going there. What I'm saying is that don't run yourself over to make others happy at your own expense. Like, please be willing to disappoint others. Make sure that the only person you're not disappointing is yourself. When you look in the mirror, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, at the end of the decade, you're happy with the person that you're seeing in the mirror. Remember, you're in charge of your life. So even as you do your interactions with others at different levels, whether at work or even outside of work, this person in the mirror, the person in your ID, the person in your passport, don't disappoint them. Don't disappoint them. You can disappoint this person, get it over in an hour, a day, a week, whatever, but don't disappoint yourself. For a relationship, for a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or whatever, don't disappoint yourself. Disappoint the other person. Be willing to disappoint them. They will get over it. You will not get over disappointing yourself. Like, it doesn't go away. So when you come into business, in the business arena, people pleasing has a negative impact on your growth. And I'll take you through a few points, which of course helps me also as an entrepreneur. And I keep going back to those points when I feel like I'm losing my way, when I'm being a bit too, giving of to my clients. So as a business owner, you're thinking, I have to make everyone happy. But it's actually a recipe for disaster. If you think about it, yes, the customer is right. Yes. But is every customer right? Is every customer right? So yeah, think about that, and let's go through a few points. When you're scouting for business, there's people who tell you yes, there are people who tell you no. And so in the name of, people say, oh, it's common jargon or a common phrase that you hear among business owners, that if you hear a no, that's a yes waiting to happen. So you've asked this person, hey, I'm selling mics and and they say, oh, no, I'm not interested. And then you interpret it as, that's a yes in waiting. So because it's a yes in waiting, you start to do too much. You're giving them free samples. Try this, try the other. Please, they're just enjoying your free goods. They're not going to buy. They already said no. Let them be. If you want, you can circle back in 90 days. That's a rule. By the way, I didn't make that rule. Circle back in 90 days. Maybe they'll have changed their minds, or maybe they're having a need now, and why not? But at the point you told no, please respectfully, fall back and then move on to the next prospect, and then until you can find your yes. But when you decide you're going to hang all your hopes on this one person who already told you no, by the way, you're going to spend so much of your time, your money, your efforts, and you'd even start giving them freebies in the hope that they will turn around. It doesn't work like that. Just let them be. Because this thing of hanging all your hopes on one person, that's people pleasing, in the name of trying to get a business out of them. Many times it doesn't work. A few times it works and it's a good story. But because you're not trying to be the exception, please just leave them be. Come back in 90 days. If they say no, it's okay. Leave them be again. Come back in 90 days. And after the third 90-day cycle, now you can decide to stop asking them at all. Because when this desire to please others can really pull you off your course, like really derail you and move you away from the road to where you are going in the first place. Like seriously, because it causes so much unnecessary distractions. You can't do anything else. You're just focusing on how to make this person happy, and it makes you neglect critical business decisions and critical business activities, and your business doesn't develop, and then it suffers. All because you're just being a people pleaser as an entrepreneur. So, and there's a whole cost to it, and some costs are obvious, others are hidden. So, imagine the burnout of trying to be a people pleaser. You're working so much on this client and eating so much of your time and energy, and your focus and your mind is there. It leads to burnout. That's a hidden cost. And you think, I'm just tired, being a business person is exhausting. Well, it is, but it shouldn't be exhausting for that reason. Like, that should not be the reason why you're tired. The other thing I would say, as a cost, even under earning, loss of earnings. You spend so much time on this person, you lost time you could have spent on the other person, and that costs you, that costs your business. So loss of earnings as well. So you may not think of it that way, but just rethink how we want to do all this, and then of course there's even billing errors that are done because maybe you're trying to give this person a freebie or some freemium or whatever, and not those are not bad things. Those are not bad things at all. But I think it's all about strategy, like even doing it strategically, giving them to people who are likely to even be interested in what it is you're selling. And I'm talking to business owners, I'm talking to entrepreneurs. So then we don't lose money, or rather spend money on the wrong prospects. And some people know that they're not going to buy from you, but they're enjoying the freebies, So you have to be a bit wise about how you spend your time and money as you attract new business, or you try to attract new business. Yeah. So, and of course, the frustration, it's another cost, and I could go on and on because I'm really anti-people pleasing, because I saw in myself what it did. It's not a good path to go on. It's a dark It's a dark, endless path that you just need to stop, come back, turn around, do a 180, not a 360, do a 180, get off that path, and come back to that path. Because all these people, everybody you speak to who is an owner of a growing business, we don't call them small businesses anymore. An owner of a growing business, they'll tell you, like, their worst experiences were with clients who they were trying to win over. Like, those were their worst experiences. And I know I can get an amen anywhere I make these statements. Like, I'm so confident of that, myself included. Like, every client who I did the most for ended up not converting, or even if they bought, it was just like for a month and that's it. And they just never came back and they never referred others. So I literally just put a lot of good money after bad money. And that's, like, that should not be what we're doing as business owners. So yeah. What are you going to do to overcome, as a business owner, how do you overcome this? Put yourself first. I know it sounds weird, but put yourself first. As a business owner, put yourself first. It sounds counterintuitive because you say that clients come first, the business comes first, whatever, but put yourself first. Like, just decide, how do I want to experience my life as a business owner? How do I want to experience the life of an entrepreneur? What kind of life you're creating? You're creating for yourself. So what do you want to experience? You want to experience good things? Sure. Then also determine that your time is valuable. And you say, oh no, drop everything. If a client calls, drop everything. No. Don't drop everything, guys. Don't drop everything. Let the client also know that, they're coming to you as an equal. You're holding something valuable. They're holding something valuable. And there needs to be an exchange. So this exchange is not happening at 1 a.m. because the client calls. You need to sleep. Come on. You need to rest. This exchange is not happening at the last minute and in crazy places. You're being told, oh, can you do a delivery in Lokitok, and like, wow, how do you even, so this thing of just bending yourself and twisting yourself into mini shapes for a client who might not even take the business. Many times the people who come with the crazy request don't even end up buying. As in, that's a bitter point. I wish they bought. And we would justify standing on our hands and legs. I mean, our hands and heads for them. But many times they don't, and they're asking, they're making all crazy demands. Can you do this? Can you do the other? Even asking you if you can invent, a new planet for them. And they still end up not buying your services. Come on. So determine that your time is also valuable. And don't even have to be rude. Just be like, oh yeah, you're able to do that. But can you speak at 8 in the morning, for example? And that sets a boundary, so you're not discussing business at 1 a.m. with a prospect. I don't know, maybe it's a returning customer. But even then, still, let's talk at 8 a.m. or let's talk at a decent hour where you as a business person, you're awake, you're able to engage in this even more. And even I say this, I think it still works. It even still works for the people who are employed anyway. Yeah. And then, of course, overcome, as a people pleaser, as a recovering people pleaser, I can say for sure that something always makes you feel like you're being selfish for saying no. Something always makes you feel like you're being selfish for not sharing, for not giving of yourself, of your time, of your money, of your resources. Maybe someone is going the same direction you're going, but you know very well that if you give them a ride, this ride doesn't just come as a drop-off. It will come as something else, and that will eat into your time. So, it's okay to just say, hey, no, I'm not able to give you a ride to where you're going, and, let them figure themselves out, because you know very well, hey, once they enter your car, your day is gone. And there's just people like that. So it's okay. Don't feel selfish. Train yourself to not feel selfish. Like, shut that voice. Train yourself to shut that voice, that funny, fake guilty voice that comes into your head to make you feel bad about the decisions that you're making that are good for you, So, and then I know it sounds like it's what we're discussing there, culture, me time, whatever. Guys, me time is important. People pleasers must schedule me time every week. Like, how God said that he rested on the Sabbath? and we should all rest on the Sabbath. People pleasers must also just rest. Like, pick your own time. Say Thursday afternoon or whatever day of the week that is not the Sabbath necessarily. Take your time for yourself, go somewhere by yourself, sit by yourself, read your own book. I don't know. Do something that's not with other people. So that way you disengage. You start getting used to not being in serving mode, because people pleasers must always serve. You arrive with them somewhere, they're wiping tables. Come on. These people who are employed here to wipe those tables. You arrive with them somewhere, they never rest. So, as a people pleaser, learn to just go, sit down by yourself, rest. And don't look at your phone. Don't think about other people's problems. Just imagine it's a fire in California and you're out here in Nairobi, and there's nothing you can do about a fire in California, You can only wish them the best. Just imagine that it's raining and there's nothing, you cannot shut those clouds. It'll have to rain either way. So people will figure themselves out without you. And I'm not saying this to threaten you with being irreplaceable or people move on without you or whatever. No. It's actually putting yourself first and knowing that you're an irreplaceable, you're a unique force in this life, in this journey of life. And this force has to be taken care of. You have to maintain your energies. You have to maintain hygiene. You have to maintain a separation between yourself and other people, and it is actually best for them also if you're not available for a short window of time over there, okay? As a business person, this is important because you find yourself. I remember in my early years as an entrepreneur, I used to work so much, and I used to earn so little, God, so little. But I was working all the time. Clients call, I'm picking up. All the emails I'm replying. And I know there's a benefit to that, because then you're learning and there's things that other people can't do for you. But I was literally never saying no. Like, all the funny requests, I'm just there, and come on. Just, it's okay to take time. I never used to take time off myself, by the way. That's why I regret that time. But now that I know better, I'm going to tell you better. Take time for yourself. I'm not saying don't work hard, you have to work hard. Please, especially if it's a new and growing business, you'll work hard, that's okay. But learn to take time for yourself. Just like, even if it's an idle afternoon, gosh, in this choleric society where you have to be doing things, we are literally like hamsters. Please be the hamster that hops off just a little bit. Just take a breather before you get on the wheel again, okay? Yeah. And then number 4, I know we say client is king and everything, the client's always right. Put the client first. I think teach yourself to respond adequately to clients' requests. I feel like it's just a door that can be left open forever and ever, but you have to take charge. That yes, clients are gonna come, and we're excited that clients are coming because we're business people. Clients are carrying the money that we need, and that money is so important because we have bills to pay. However, you have to pace yourself and you have to train yourself to respond adequately. So then you're not literally killing yourself and running yourself under buses and trucks to make your clients happy. Once you're spent and you can no longer serve them well, they'll move on to the next business. So you have to maintain yourself so that they can still come back and find you energetic and ready to serve them when they do come back. But if you just run over yourself and actively kill yourself in the process of serving them, they'll just see you and they may not even value what you've done for them, They'll be like, oh, thanks, cool, cheers. And they'll pay you whatever it is that they have bargained for. Most likely they've even bargained down. They pay for whatever they bargained down for, and they move on. And the next time, if you're not able to serve them, please, they move on to another person. So yeah, it's important to just respond adequately, appropriately, not just adequately, but appropriately. Always remember that when it comes to people pleasing, yeah, there's a short-term gain. The client will come, people will be happy with you, but you're the one who pays the ultimate price. So, and it's not a good price to pay. There are no gains at all. there's no awards, there's no winning when it comes to people pleasing. So yeah, as a business owner, remember when you utalipa, you're the one who pay heavily. So I'd rather you don't pay heavily. I'd rather just save you the cost by telling you to put yourself first, do what is important, do what is enough, and learn to take time off. And it's okay to say no, and it's okay to disappoint others. Let them be disappointed that your business was closed at 7 p.m. Let them be disappointed. They'll come tomorrow and buy from you. They'll actually keep your opening hours in mind. So when they do come, they'll make sure they come at 6 o'clock, just before you can close, or they come within the time that you've prescribed over there in your business listing. Yeah, so I don't want you to be burnt out, guys. I don't want you to be angry at your customers. I don't want you to be angry at the world. I don't want you to be angry at your team members because you're so frustrated and burnt out because of people pleasing. So drop it. It doesn't help anyone, doesn't serve anyone. I think one tiny pro I can talk about, a pro of being a people pleaser. I think this would, cuts both ways, but I see it more with my friends who are employed, especially people who are employed to do sales, not the business owners, but people who are employed to do sales. Because, a people pleaser literally is able to shape-shift and be literally embody another person's existence or experience. So then they're able to know how to take care of them or cater to them. So if you're working in sales, being a people pleaser makes you really understand your clients' needs, get into their space, in a different way, and then figure out, if I was this person, this is what I'd want, this is what I want, this is what I want, and this is how I want it to work out. So that way, when you're now giving them a sales proposal, or you're discussing with them whatever it is you're proposing to them, then it's easy for you to tell them, I know this would work well. And they're like, yeah, like, how did you know? And so suddenly they're eating from the palm of your hands, and you're selling to them, and you're making mad sales. Yeah, but only because you're not worried about your salary. Someone else is worrying about your salary. So that's the only pro I can talk about when it comes to people pleasing in the workplace. Again, I don't want it to come out like I'm saying that doing things for others is a bad thing. No, because I already said it's important to invest in others. So helping others to do what they need to do is not a bad thing at all, so don't take me wrong. But it's just that with people pleasing, there's an unhealthy focus on other people, and an unhealthy detachment from yourself. And what I want to break today is that unhealthy focus on others and help you focus on yourself, okay? So then you're not lost in the sauce, just know what you need to do, and don't be lost in the sauce, but everything I talked about in terms of how to stop people pleasing as a business owner, I think also comes into the professional arena, into the job arena, the job environment, the workplace. Because when you're willing to say no to others, those last minute requests, someone says, hey, do you wanna? So there's a TikTok page I follow. I forget the name, but I know the name of the character. So it's like, hey Veronica, and Veronica works in a call center, if I'm not wrong, customer care call center. And I've really learned a lot from Veronica, and I wish I'd met her 20 years ago. Anyway, here we are. So these last minute requests that come in at 4:30, and you're clocking out at 5. Maybe you'll clock at 5:15. So you don't look like you're the first on the door. Again, people pleasing. So someone comes to you with something at 4:30, and when you look at it, this will actually eat you into, we're looking at 9 p.m. That's when you'll be able to leave the office. So just being able to firmly and politely say no, like, okay, cool, thank you for this work, but I'll pick it up tomorrow first thing in the morning. So that way you still maintain your work life. I know we're not calling it balance anymore, but integration. You're able to maintain your work life alignment, so then you're not missing time with your family. You're not missing time to even just watch that mindless show that relaxes you. I don't know what show you're watching on TV now, and I don't want to promote any show right now, but I'm just thinking, like, you really do need time for yourself. You need time for your hobbies. You need time to relax and do nothing. Imagine you've been working the whole day, you've been commuting, this traffic, the rain, the noise, everything. Yeah. So just, it's important to just know that being a people pleaser gets you none of that. It gets you no hobbies, no friends. It just gets you people who are using you and abusing you around you. So how can you tell that you're a people pleaser? Are there telltale symptoms? When you agree, when you just say yes to everything, you're a people pleaser. You agree to things that you wouldn't even have done normally, the things you didn't have bothered thinking about. But then someone just says, hey, do you want orange? Like, yeah. You're just saying yes because you think that's the best thing to do. It's actually such a knee-jerk reaction. You always just say yes. Like what? You never stop to think. The other thing that will make you know that you're a people pleaser is if you're taking on more responsibility than you really should. Like, there's responsibility, there's your duties and obligations, but then now, what? Are you doing woodwork? Did we not hire you to do HR? What's going on? So check yourself. And then another thing about people pleasers, and they never really want to hear it because they like to keep the peace, quote unquote. They keep quiet. There's problems at work, there's conflict, there's things that are being done there that are also affecting their well-being. But people pleasers just be keeping quiet. Oh, I don't want to upset the peace. Oh, I don't want to. People pleasers, they are just the worst. They are cowards and sellouts, And I'm saying that because I have remained quiet in the past in group settings. Things are happening that are not good for me or even for the collective. But because I want to maintain the harmony, I don't want to be the one who's ruffling feathers, I'm keeping quiet. And what? We all ended up being in trouble anyway. We all ended up being losers anyway in that situation. I should have just spoken up. And looking back, I remember being told you should have said something and the whole situation would have been different. But because of that thing, the desire to, just be a people pleaser for whatever reason, it's really dark. You end up just keeping quiet and then getting people even in more trouble with your inaction and lack of, initiative to say something. If you're willing to disregard your feelings about things, then you're a people pleaser. Because really, you should not disregard your feelings. There's a reason why you're feeling what you're feeling, and it may be uncomfortable, but please train yourself to share, It doesn't have to be an outburst, but just say, hey, I'm not so cool with that. How about XYZ? So that way you come out of people pleasing. Because if you're always just going with the flow, going with the flow is for people pleasers. And we're not doing that here on Career Cruise, guys. Please. So these are just small examples. Just figure out how, you're being a people pleaser at work or in your business, at home or with your friends. Just figure out how you're being a people pleaser and come out of it. There's so much material to read about it. It's a whole wide phenomenon and it affects us all negatively. Guys, there's a war in the world, and some people pleasers are making us continue being this war. Instead of just saying, no, stop it now, at your workplace, there's things are happening that if majority of us were not people pleasers, the company would be in a much better place, even fiscally, in terms of even profits. We'd be much better places if we're not people pleasers, So think about the cost of people pleasing to yourself, to others, to the company you work for. You might think you're keeping the peace now, but there's a whole cost attached to it. So I'll see you next time. Please, in the meantime, talk to the people pleasers around you. Share with them this episode. Read about it. Talk more about it. Let's break the chains, guys. Let's do better for ourselves and for the generations to come. And since you're always talking about making money, you find that if you're not a people pleaser, you'll make more money. So cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.